Guys, this is what Final Fantasy IX means to me, man. This video just proves it.
Final Fantasy IX, in many ways, serves as both an ending and a new beginning for the franchise. It was the last Final Fantasy to be produced for the original PlayStation, and coincidentally, also the final single-digit installment in the main series, ushering in the turn of the century and the dawn of a new console generation. As such, it also marked the end of a development philosophy that had been the standard for the series since the very beginning. All of the games that have followed this installment, in the minds of many longtime fans, have never really been quite the same.
Exactly.
This is likely due to the fact that Final Fantasy IX proved to be the last game into which series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi would step into an influential creative role during his tenure at Square. I think it's an interesting thought that this Final Fantasy may be the only one that's ever truly lived up to its namesake.
Exactly.
Being the last game in the series to be conceived and written by its creator. One of the most interesting things about this game's development history, however, is that there were some reservations early on about whether it should be a true main series entry or a Gaiden project. This was the result of an enormous change of direction from the previous two games in both setting and visual design. While both Final Fantasy VII and VIII had adopted the more proportioned, manga look of up-and-coming character designer Tetsuya Nomura, Final Fantasy IX saw the return of Yoshitaka Amano's unique and elegant style. And with Hideo Manaba's distinctive final designs in place, the project was firmly planted back into its roots of true, medieval-based fantasy. This was done out of a fear that if the series continued in the vein of Final Fantasy VII and VIII's more science fiction-inspired settings, that the series would begin to fall into redundancy.
It did.
Some of the executives at Square were worried that this might create confusion for recent adopters of the series, alienating a prodigious fan base that had been gained with the wild success of Final Fantasy VII.
Fuck 'em!
But in the end, once Hironobu Sakaguchi's vision for the project became clear, it was evident that Final Fantasy IX was indeed worthy of its Roman numeral christening. That vision, as described by Sakaguchi himself, was a game based on a reflection of all the previous works in the series. Art director Hideo Minaba later reiterated this in an interview, where he said, "As this is the last single-digit Final Fantasy, we wanted to give the feeling of a series watershed, a sort of grand collection of what has come before." This is perhaps one of the reasons why Sakaguchi has declared Final Fantasy IX to be his personal favorite, affirming that it's the closest to his ideal view of what Final Fantasy should be.
It is.
And I couldn't agree more. For anyone who has played and enjoyed the early installments, Final Fantasy IX will make you feel right at home.
Yep.
Not only is it tonally consistent with the NES and SNES era, but it also has dozens of clever, whimsical references to its predecessors, which is sure to delight longtime fans. It also has an absolutely perfect balance between its deep, character-driven emotional elements and its charming, lovable humor, which, coupled with its intelligent and well-balanced gameplay systems, makes it one of the best the series has to offer.